So I have pictures of the book on Google Classroom so you could do the homework. But try to get to the school and get a book. All right. So hopefully you can see the whiteboard there. So page 50, number 15. So that says we have x squared minus 7x plus 5 over 4 equals 0. And the directions say solve the equation by completing the square. Well, that sounds like fun, doesn't it? All right. So ideas, first step?
Multiply by 4.
Good guess, but remember we are completing the square.
Subtract 5,
We
4.
need a equal to 1. So we need to get that constant over here. Right? We need this to be 1. So multiplying by 4 is going to make this a 4, which doesn't help. So we got x squared minus 7x is now equal to negative 5 over 4. So from yesterday's notes, when we have it like this, what do we do to b?
You divide it by 2 and then you square.
That's right. So b over 2 squared is what we're after. So it's an odd number, so that's not fun, but we could still do that. So if you take 7, negative 7, and divide by 2 and square it, 7 squared gives us a 49, 2 squared gives us a 4. I'm going to move this. So we still have our negative 5 over 4, but we're going to add 49 over 4. And now this is a perfect squared trinomial. So we could write this in factored form. This term here is always half a b squared. And that makes sense because if you add 2 of these, the 2's will go away, so you get your 7. When you square it, you get your 49 and 4. And let's see, that gives me 11, right? If we add these, negative 5 and 49, that's 44 over 4, which is 11. And now we can get rid of that squared by taking the square root. So you get x minus 7 over 2 is equal to, what goes here?
Plus or minus 11.
Plus or minus root 11. And the last step would be to push this over. So x would be 7 over 2 plus or minus root 11. I don't know why this is moving so much today. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
All right.
Can you do 17?
17.
Mm-hmm.
So number 17 is also solving by completing the square, but that's like just a really long equation. So we got 2x squared minus 7x plus 9 is equal to x minus 3, x plus 1 plus 3x. All right. So if you see something like that, don't panic. Just remember that if we're trying to solve by completing the square, our goal is to, oops, not 6. see. Our goal is to manipulate the equation to look like that. Right? So once we have the equation looking like this, then we could do our half of b, square it, add both sides, square root, factor, right? So we just have to do some algebra here to get it to look like this. So first thing we could do is distribute this side. That'd give us x squared. That's 1x minus 3x. That's negative 2x. Subtract 3 plus 3x. Right? So then we could combine these guys. So that would give us x squared minus 2 plus 3 plus x minus 3. So now I can bring these guys over here, bring the 9 over here. So I can subtract the x squared and subtract the x, and subtract the x squared and subtract the x. So 2x squared minus x squared would leave me with an x squared. Negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8. And I want to bring the 9 over here, so it's subtract 9, so it's negative 12.
Why do you subtract x squared and x from both sides?
Well, I'm trying to get these terms to the left-hand side of the equal sign, right? Because I have my x squared and my x terms on the left of the equal sign. So I want to get this over here to combine with this. I want to get the x over here to combine with the 7. So then these will go away, right? And so I'm left with my constants.
Okay.
And then from here, it should be fairly easy. Right, so we take half of b, just like before. B over 2 squared, add it to both sides. So what's half of 8 squared?
4. Oh, 16.
8 is 4, and then you square it, you get 16. Very good. You get negative 12, we add 16. So don't forget to add it on both sides, so that way this stays true. If I add 16 here, I have to add 16 here to keep it equal. And so now we factor this. This is always half of b. So that's your minus 4. And you can see if you add 2 of these, you get negative 8. And if you square it, you get 16. And negative 12 and 16 is 4. And then to get rid of a squared, you use square root. So you get x minus 4 is
Plus or minus 2.
plus or minus 2. Very good. Then we just push the 4 over. So it's negative 4, we have to add it, so it's positive. So x would equal 4 minus 2 is 2, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So from yesterday, I mean, this is not asked in the homework, but I'd like you guys to start thinking about it. If you were to graph this function, and you were to graph this function, then you would see that this function intersects this function when x is 2 or 6. And it looks like you have two parabolas. You can have two intersecting parabolas. And you can substitute 2 in here to find out the y coordinate. So you can find out exactly where they intersect. All right, good questions. All right, so I believe I posted that this morning. I don't know if any of you saw that, but it is in Classroom. So go ahead and work on that real quick. So go ahead and solve that. Use any of the 4 methods we talked about yesterday. Feel free to talk to each other or use the chat. You guys got it? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. What did you guys get?
Got x equals x equals 3 plus or minus 3.
3 plus or minus 3?
Yeah.
Okay, we could take that a little further, right? So 3 minus 3 would be 0.
Or negative. Oh wait.
3 plus 3 would be 6.
Yeah.
So maybe, but I mean, just by substituting 0, I don't think 0 works. If you substitute 0 here and here, you get 0 equals negative 9. So you might want to check this.
3 plus or minus square root of 12.
3 plus or minus square root of 12?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Well, let's see, this would be x squared plus 6x equals 3 x squared 1 x minus plus 3. What's half of 6? 3 squared 1, 3, 12. You divide by the negative, and negative makes it positive. So this would be positive. So I would get negative 3 plus or minus 2 root 3. Anybody get this?
My bad, I forgot the negative.
Yeah, I think that needs a negative. Because, right, if you divide all three by -3, this negative and this negative and this negative become positive. So you get +6. So I use completing the square. I like completing the square. Look how little bit of work it is, right? You can do most of it in your head. So hopefully you got this right. Very good. So we're moving on to complex numbers. On P6. So as a quick review of Algebra 2, I know in yesterday's notes, some of you mentioned imaginaries or square root of a negative. Complex number, any number that can be written as a plus bi, where I is defined as the square root of -1. A and b are real numbers. So the real number a is the real part, the real number b is the imaginary part. And the conjugate of a complex number means we change the sign in front of the imaginary part. So it's not the opposite. So just the sign between the real part and imaginary part changes. So if you have a plus bi, it becomes a minus bi. If you have a minus bi, it becomes a plus bi. All right. And in case you forgot, here's the operations with complex numbers. If you're adding two complex numbers, then you just add the real parts together. So here's the real part, here's the real part. So you add those. Here's the imaginary part, here's the imaginary part. So you add those. Same thing when you're subtracting. So you would kind of distribute that minus. So that's why this becomes minus. So you subtract the real and you subtract the imaginary. When you're finding a product, you distribute. It's just like multiplying two binomials. So notice you have this one times both of these. So a times c, a times di, and then this times both of these. So you just distribute. The quotient, however, is the one that's really different. So if I have a complex number divided by a complex number, what do? Multiply by the
Denominator.
almost.
Reciprocal?
You need a word in front of that.
Reciprocal, right?
It was on the
Opposite
previous slide.
denominator.
By the
Conjugate.
there it is. So it's multiplied by the conjugate of the denominator. So if you look at this, we're multiplying by c minus di over c minus di because the denominator was c plus di. So the conjugate says we switch that sign from plus to minus, and then you multiply top and bottom. And the reason we do that is you're going to get rid of these middle terms here because you're going to get one of them negative, one of them positive, and then you're going to get an I squared when you multiply this term with this term. And you all remember what I squared equals, right?
-1.
-1, very good. Right? If we define I as the square root of -1, then if you square both sides, you get I squared is -1. And so that eliminates the complex or imaginary numbers in the denominator. So that's how we divide complex numbers. All right. So I think I would like you guys to try these examples. I'm going to try and do these in the breakout room. So let's see, give me a minute here. I gotta figure this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms. And breakout room. Assign. Okay. So option. Let's see what time we got. I'll give you guys 10 minutes. So I think that should work. And I hope there's a way for me to present to all you guys. But just in case I can't, go ahead and take a minute to write those down real quick. Do you guys see those problems?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So go ahead and write those down real quick, and then I'm gonna send you to your breakout rooms with your partners. And you could work on those in your groups. Everybody's good? You wrote them down? I'm not hearing anything. You guys still awake?
Yeah, yeah, I'm just writing it down.
All right. And I'll try to jump into each room for a quick minute and tell you which role everybody has. It's like leader, secretary, timekeeper. Everybody's good? You wrote them all down? Don't try to do them yet. You're going to do them in your groups.
Yeah, they're written.
All right, here you go. Let's see if this works. You guys figure it out? Ethan, did you see a button there, Ethan?
What? Is there a button that I need to press?
I think there should have been, but I think I could move you too, so.
It's because I got in the breakout room, but I was trying to undo my camera, but the only button it gave me was leave breakout room.
Let's see. Um, I don't know how to send you in there. Let's see. You sure you don't see a button anywhere? You're looking everywhere?
There's a button. Oh, join breakout room?
Yeah, try that one. There you go. Awesome.
Different. 11 last night.
Okay, the second one. It's the same thing as adding. So you're supposed to subtract the real and then the imaginary. So I think it would be 2.
Plus 8. Oh, wait. Oh, no,
No.
no. 2.
I think it would be minus.
Yeah.
2 minus 8. And then would it be like minus?
Minus and then parentheses.
All right, I'm gonna just talk to you guys real quick. So based on what you sent me in your Google Forms, the leader of this group would be Christian Reyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Angela Guevara is our secretary. And Ethan is the timekeeper. All right. So keep working. Sounds like you're on track.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So 2 minus 8, I think. And then
Oh, where'd my breakout? What's going on? Well, it's a quiet room. You guys there?
Yes.
You guys working together on the problems? Yes, no? Any questions? Well, hopefully you start talking to each other. You can even use the chat. But I have marked down that Isabella is going to be the leader of this group. Haley's the secretary, but she's absent. And then Vanessa will be the timekeeper.
What does the leader do?
You just make sure that everybody's working on the assigned task. So as leader, you would check in with the other members of the group and say, hey, what'd you get for the first problem? You know, you're in charge of making sure the group is working on what you're supposed to be working on. All right, so keep working on that. I gotta jump into the other rooms.
Zoom, sure.
Boom, caught you. Sleeping on the job there. How you guys doing in here?
I'm red-handed.
We already solved them all.
You solved them all. All right, cool. Then I'll just quickly share with you guys that Karim is the leader of the group. So Karim's job, make sure you're staying on track. I have Giovanni as secretary, so you can take notes, need to report back on anything. And then Victor is the timekeeper.
Okay.
I did 4.
Remember when? Wait. Oh wait. Never mind. I did this wrong.
I got 29 for my denominator.
Yeah, it's -29.
No, positive. Because the negative 25 turns into a positive because of I squared.
Because of yeah, 29.
Yeah.
My bad. I
And
forgot
then,
by that 5 eyes.
and then 3i plus minus 22.
Yeah, -22 plus 3i over 29.
Sounds like you guys are doing pretty good in here.
Yeah.
Wait, what? No, yeah.
So I'm just gonna let you know I have Samantha as the leader, Hector is secretary, and I have JC as timekeeper.
Jace isn't here.
Yeah, Jason's in here.
Yeah, he's absent today. I don't know if he dropped the class, but if he
I
dropped the
could text
class,
him.
then Stephanie would be timekeeper.
Okay.
All right, keep working. Sounds like you're doing good.
Thank you.
Wait, what you get again? Because I got 3i.
4 minus 25i, and then if that's not the right answer, then I think it's -2 plus 29. I don't know. I'm very confused.
No, well, those answers are near where I got.
Oh no.
So
This is bad.
that's not good.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Well, we have everything. We have all the answers except for the division one.
The division.
All right, so I'm gonna let you guys know that I have Jared as the leader of this group. And Isaiah is the secretary, and Gilberto is the timekeeper.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm very confused.
All right, so what I got was -22 plus 3i over 29.
-22 plus 3i over 21?
29.
Oh, 29? Okay.
All right, keep working. You guys will get it. You guys awake in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You guys finish all 4?
Okay.
All right, so just to let you guys know, in this group, I have Jaden as the leader, and Modesto is secretary, and Jazzy is a timekeeper. So I think that's been 10 minutes. Hopefully you guys like this and it worked out. I was trying to get to every room. All right.
Welcome back, students.
Welcome back. So how was that? Did you guys like those breakout rooms and the groups?
Yeah.
It was alright.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know that we'll do that every day, but once in a while, I'll try and throw you guys into groups and you can work on a project or not a project, a problem, and then we'll get back together. So I think that's most of the PowerPoints. Let me double check. So we just had those practice problems and then the assignment. So we can go ahead and share out your answers, make sure we all agree, and then we'll call it a day. There's my pen. So anyone in breakout room 2? Someone in breakout room 2, what did you guys get here?
We don't know our group members.
Oh, when you go to the breakout room, it doesn't tell you?
Oh yeah, for us it did.
Okay, well,
I didn't know there was.
we'll work on that. So anybody, what did you get on the first one?
Negative 2i plus 5.
Negative 2i plus 5? Okay.
We got negative 6 plus 2i.
We should be writing them in standard form, a plus bi. Right, so we would do negative 2 plus 7. We know that's 5. And 3 minus 5i. So 3 take away 5 is negative 2. So you should have got this. And what about over here? What did you guys get here?
Negative 6 plus 2i.
Negative 6 plus 2i. I agree. So you take that negative, you distribute it. So 2 take away 8, it's negative 6. That negative, not negative, we're going to be adding 3i. So negative I plus 3i plus 2i. Very good. And be careful on this one, have to distribute. So 4 times 1 is 4. You get plus 8i minus 3i minus 6i squared. So I squared is negative 1. So that negative with negative 1 makes that a plus 6. So 4 plus 6 will give us a 10. And 8 minus 3 is 5. So you should have 10 plus 5i. And in this one, we have to multiply by what?
The conjugate.
Conjugate denominator.
I think.
What is the conjugate?
2 plus 5i.
Plus 5i. So this is the one that takes forever, right? So you got to distribute all of these. So you got to distribute this and distribute the denominator. So negative 1 times 2, that's negative 2. Then what? Negative 5i. Then 8i. And 5 times 4, that's a 20. I squared. And then the denominator, 2 times 2 gives us 4. You get a 10i and a minus 10i, which goes away. And you get negative 25i squared. So I squared is negative 1, so negative is positive. So in the denominator, we're going to have 29. And again, I squared is negative 1, so we're subtracting 20, so that's negative 22. Negative 5 plus 8 is plus 3. So hopefully you got that correct. That's all you have to practice in your homework. All good?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So there's your assignment. So before I forget, I'll be nice and there's no lecture tomorrow. I need to go to San Diego, medical appointment, but you still have to check in on Google Classroom, and I'll still be taking attendance. So I will post a Google form tomorrow morning. So all you gotta do is fill out the form and say, yes, I'm here and I'm working on my homework. But I won't have a live lecture, so don't look to sign in.
Hey, Mr. Garcia.
Yes, sir.
I'm actually going to be also heading out to San Diego, and I'm gonna be going on a plane. And around this time, I'm going to be on it. So I don't know if I'm gonna have access to any internet to sign in. So just want to let you know in advance.
Okay, let me stop recording so I can answer that.